Bournemouth have been busy boys this month, and their latest potential deal is an expensive one, with the Cherries apparently set to sign Mepham from Brentford for £15 million. That's a huge fee for a Championship player, but it isn't the record. Today we're going to look at the 11 most expensive Championship players in history, but a quick disclaimer, we're not including players from teams that have just been relegated, so Tottenham's £30 million splash on Moussa Sissoko doesn't count. We start our list with Ross McCormack. One of the best goal scorers in Championship history, Ross McCormack has moved clubs for a lot of money, but amazingly didn't even move up the footballing ladder. In 2014, after Fulham had been relegated from the Premier League, they looked for Championship experience and appeared to strike gold with Ross McCormack. The Scot cost Fulham £11 million and went on to score 38 goals in 89 Championship appearances for the club. While Fulham wouldn't gain promotion, the performance of McCormack was certainly special and led to another big money move, but more on that later. Next up we've got Jonathan Kodjia. Sitting in joint 10th place after also costing £11 million, Jonathan Kodjia doesn't have the same Championship pedigree that McCormack does, but that didn't stop Aston Villa spending a big fee on him, a fee that could potentially rise to £15 million. Kodjia arrived at Villa Park in 2016 on the back of one season in the Championship, where he scored an impressive 19 goals for Bristol City. The Ivory Coast international followed this up with another 19-goal haul for Aston Villa, but has spent much of the last two seasons out injured. In 9th place we've got David Brooks. A recent arrival in the Premier League from the Championship, the deal for David Brooks proves that Bournemouth don't have an issue at all with spending big money on Championship players, and they don't have a problem with spending big money full stop. They whacked £90 million on Dominic Solanke. But back to Brooks, who cost the Cherries £11.5 million this summer from Sheffield United. Despite limited experience in the Football League, Brooks has taken to Premier League life with ease and has proven to be an astute purchase. Eddie Howe will be hoping that Mepham has similar success. In joint 7th place we've got Ross McCormack. 2 years later and he's back again, this time costing even more money, but this transfer was much less successful. The situation was the same. Villa had just been relegated to the Championship and wanted a striker who they knew could score goals in the division. Step up Ross McCormack, but this time he'd cost a little more. Villa paid Fulham £12 million for the forward, but the goals did anything but flow. McCormack fell out of favour once Bruce came in, and he's now on loan at Motherwell after a couple of spells over in Australia. Next we've got OxladeChamberlain. Back when the Saints were in the Championship, their youth system was flourishing, which is why the likes of Gareth Bale and Theo Walcott got Premier League moves. But the most expensive one was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who also snapped up at the age of 17 in 2011 for an initial £12 million. When Arsenal signed Chamberlain, the Saints had just returned to the second tier, so Arsenal signed the Ox on the back of his performances in League One. So really I shouldn't have counted this, but never mind. Oxlade-Chamberlain is now a Liverpool player, costing them £35 million, and he's hoping to get back to fitness to aid their Premier League title charge. In joint 5th place is Robbie Brady. From here on in, you'll begin to notice that Burnley are happy to spend big money on a Championship player, and Robbie Brady is the first one we're going to look at. The Irish winger yo-yoed between the Premier League and Championship for a few years with Hull and Norwich, with his most recent relegation coming in 2016 with the Canaries. Surprisingly, Brady remained at Carrow Road, but only until January. Burnley spent a whopping £13 million on the left winger, a fee that was instantly paid back with a stunning free kick on his full debut against Chelsea. Also costing £13 million was Oliver Burke. It's not just English clubs who sign players in the Championship, the Germans have been getting at it too. In the summer of 2016, RB Leipzig continued their pursuit of Europe's hottest youngsters, in a footballing sense, not that he thinks they're pretty, and paid £13 million to Nottingham Forest for Oliver Burke. Considering the fact he's already back in England, that tells you all you need to know really. That's a lie actually, he's in Scotland now, he joined Celtic on loan. Silly me. But anyway, Burke apparently did well off the bench in Germany, but Leipzig coaches criticised Burke's tactical awareness, basically calling him thick. In joint 2nd place we've got Chris Wood. It's a second Championship player who Burnley signed, and this one cost the Clarets even more money. They splashed out £15 million on Chris Wood in the summer of 2017, after the New Zealander had the best season of his life. Wood had scored 27 Championship goals for Leeds, earning him the Golden Boot award. However, there were doubts he could do it in the Premier League, but he quickly put that myth to bed, scoring 10 goals in 24 appearances in his first season at Burnley. Sadly, the goals have dried up this season, and that £50 million fee suddenly doesn't look so much of a bargain. Also costing £50 million is Ben Gibson. And that's a hat-trick of Championship players that Burnley have signed, and Gibson has arguably been the least impressive. But then again, he has had the least amount of opportunities. Gibson got himself in the England picture when he was with Borough in the Premier League, but his stock fell dramatically after spending another year in the Championship. However, that didn't stop Burnley sending another £15 million Borough's way, and it remains to be seen if they'll actually get their money's worth on him. Our third £15 million man is Britta Samba. Another transfer involving Middlesbrough, and the most expensive player in Championship history to stay in the division. That's right, Borough spent £15 million after being relegated to the Championship, bringing in Britta Samba from Forest to score the goals to propel them back to the Premier League. As you're well aware, that hasn't happened, but they are in the promotion mix this season. And finally, the most expensive player signed from a Championship club is James Malleson. He took signing players in the Championship to a whole new level this summer, with Leicester paying Norwich £20 million for the youngster's services. This was on the back of 14 goals from midfield the season before, but still £20 million was obscene for a player with no top flight experience. It hasn't mattered though, as Malleson proved his quality immediately in a Leicester shirt, and now he's key to how the Foxes attack in the post-Riyad Mahrez era. Malleson has proof that there is quality in the Championship worth investing in. So that's the 11 most expensive players signed from Championship clubs. Let us know what you reckon in the comments below. Will Chris Mepham be worth the money? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.